what can people expect from your presentation? What kind of stuff are you going to be touching on?
Well, I thought we'd break it down and kind of talk about maybe the six major things we've learned from strip till here at Precision Planting's PTI Farm. Number one, we thought we'd just share our data of strip till compared to the other tillage programs. What is the yield difference? What has it been? And then more importantly, once we put $1 per acre cost to each program, how does each one of them compare to each other? You know, what has been the best and what is the dollar difference on a per acre basis? Then I kind of want to talk about banding versus broadcast applications of fertilizer. You know, due to the high cost of fertilizer right now, the historic high levels of fertilizer that we have, we've got to farm smarter. And to do that, it's not broadcasting or sometimes what I call slinging fertilizer on every square inch of our soil. We'll talk about some of the long-term data we've done with banding versus broadcast, putting those dry fertilizer applications in a band underneath where we're planting, and show some of the differences in yield, and then most importantly, net return. And so we're doing that in both corn and soybeans. Most all of our trials are in both corn and soybeans. That's one thing growers ask me all the time is, okay, strip tills for corn, right? What are you doing for soybeans? And we say, well, we're doing strip till for soybeans too. It works just the same. And matter of fact, one of the other things we'll talk about at strip till conference is how why we're using strip till in regard to early plant soybeans. Some of our planting data has been really encouraging, you know, planting soybeans early, but how do you do it? If you're in a no-till situation, we've got colder, maybe wetter soils. We use strip till to make that wide band that I talked about earlier. You got that nice black soil, grabbing all that heat from the sun, that thermal radiation, warms the soil up where I can sneak in and plant some of my early plant beans. And it's really been successful for us. We'll also talk about liquid versus dry fertilizer. You know, as we traveled the country this winter, it was really interesting talking with growers that do strip till, but some growers use dry fertilizer, others use liquid fertilizer. And so we're in our first year of testing, looking at liquid formulations of fertilizer in strip versus I'll call status quo, typical DAP and potash dry formulation. So we'll talk about some of those differences that we've got here on the farm. Fertilizer rate efficiency. I think coming back to this high price of fertilizer, I mentioned we need to farm smarter. If we can go to a band in a strip till rather than surface broadcast applications, one of the questions we get a lot from growers is, well, if I'm banding fertilizer, can I use less of it? And due to the high cost of fertilizer, that is a legitimate question. So we're going to talk about some of our results of can we reduce fertilizer if we are in a band in our strip till? Right now, that answer is yes. We're still trying to study it, but right now our data would say that we could be a 25 to 50% reduction of fertilizer as long as we're in a band. So some exciting numbers there that we'll talk about. Lastly, we're going to incorporate cover crops into our strip till situation. Cover crops are a great way to hopefully increase soil health or improve soil health, but there's some management. That comes along the way that is a little difficult for growers. And my experience has been corn and soybean yield has gone lower as we've tried to incorporate cover crop programs on the farm. We're using strip till as a way to make it a lot easier to manage cover crops, and it's still giving us the ability to ban fertilizer and not let the cover crop and then the new crop of corn or soybeans kind of compete with each other. We've got enough nutrition in place, so nothing slows us down and we're full bore ahead. So we've got some long-term studies. We've got corn after corn after soybeans, and then soybean after corn. This is designed as a 10-year program. A lot of things we'll talk about at Strip Till Conference are 10-year programs where we're looking at long-term and really trying to figure out the differences of what we're trying to evaluate in the field.
Well, this is going to be an action-packed presentation. I can't wait for this. A lot of information you're going to be squeezing in there, so we look forward to that. And also, before the conference gets started with the presentations and everything, there's going to be a special pre-conference workshop at the PTI Farm. So tell us a little bit about that. What can attendees expect?
Yeah, we're excited about the pre-conference meeting here at the farm. we're going to take folks out. We'll have 3 different sessions here at the farm. We'll have one. It'll be an agronomy tour with me and my team. We'll go out in the field. We'll talk about some of the things that we've already mentioned. We'll show some of the trials we have in place here this year out in the field growing here at the farm. We'll have some data slides where we'll talk a little bit about what we've seen. I'm excited about that. Then we'll kind of give a glimpse of the rest of the farm, some of the other agronomy that we're doing. We've got a water, as part of a sustainability project here at the farm. We have a water management program where we recycle rainwater to do some of our irrigation and fertigation work here at the farm. It's just a really neat program. So we'll talk about the benefits of that as well as some of the other things that we're doing. We'll also have kind of a sandbox area is what we affectionately call it at the farm, where we're going to have, my goal is to have every strip-till piece of equipment available to growers at the farm, where growers can kick the tires a little bit and say, okay, what's currently available in the marketplace, and what equipment might be best for their farm. They'll be able to talk with the industry experts and just see the differences. And that's half the battle with farmers, just knowing what's available in the marketplace. So I hope this pre-conference meeting is a great way to help with that challenge.
Yeah, definitely. Looking forward to it. August will be here before we know it. And I know you're going to be busy there once the weather gets a little bit better in central Illinois. So thanks for taking the time to join us today, Jason.
Absolutely. Thanks. And we're looking forward to the summer.